Okay, so leaked decision, Politico obtaining the draft decision. The Supreme Court, unless something changes, will be overturning Roe v. Wade and Planned Parenthood v. Casey. This will end federal abortion rights. It will push it to the states. Many states will outright ban abortion. I told you yesterday, Oklahoma passing a 6-week abortion ban. That's basically a total ban. Most women don't know they're pregnant until at least 4 to 5 weeks. A 6-week abortion ban is just an abortion ban. So let's look at some reactions. I want to start with radical Trumpist Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. She started crying when she heard about the decision. Let's take a look at that video.
I just want to make an announcement, and I'm sorry I'm overwhelmed with emotion because this is the best news of our lifetime. The Supreme Court has voted to overturn abortion rights. There's a draft opinion out now to overturn Roe versus Wade, and this is a great victory. It's a great victory for God and the unborn who have been innocently slain for years, my entire lifetime. And I'll just read this. It says, Roe was egregiously wrong from the start. I just want to...
Okay. Now, I think Marjorie Taylor Greene is completely out of her mind. I think she's nuts. I think she's a horrible person. But we have to understand, if you believe abortion is murder, right? If you believe that getting an abortion at 7 weeks is the same as a cold-blooded assassination, it would be logical that you would react like this. And so I think she's nuts for a whole bunch of different reasons, and I disagree with her view about abortion completely. But let's understand that if you believed that, this is kind of a logical reaction. The God stuff is an extra layer. Like without the God stuff, I guess you could believe the same thing. But so that's Marjorie Taylor Greene. Laura Ingraham says to women who want an abortion, just move to a different state.
This was always shaky.
This was a state issue, and we have to say,
Ruth Bader Ginsburg said it was shaky and bad.
Well, and everyone has to remember tonight, like before everybody freaks out, that this is now going to be determined by you, the people.
Yeah.
Like you can you could live in New York, and you say, look, remember New York did that standing ovation in Albany? You want to know what sick is? It's not safe, legal, and rare anymore. In New York, you get a standing ovation for having abortion up until basically the baby, is out of the womb.
Okay. So the reality, of course, is a lot of people can't afford to move. I mean, listen, the same people who might be in a situation where they might want to seek an abortion and they would have trouble paying for that, you think they can afford to move to a different state in order to get it? I mean, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Now, Laura Ingraham is aware that there are some on the left saying maybe this will inspire the left to get out and vote in November and it could save the midterm for Democrats. She doesn't agree, though.
The left is going into the stratosphere tonight. They're going nuts. They know their entire facade, everything they fought for. This is the hill that they'll die on. They're worried that it's all going to come crumbling down. And they think that somehow this leak is going to be a gift that could rescue them for the midterms. Well, the thinking is misguided.
All right. So Laura Ingraham says this won't save Democrats in November. Republican Trumpist Congresswoman Lauren Boebert put out a tweet in response saying, if your response to the Supreme Court news is to dust off your stupid pink hat from 2016 and go march to a support infanticide, reevaluate your entire life. And then lastly, Fox host Tomi Lahren says Democrats are going to do their own insurrection over this.
Talking about this leak, do you think that this was an intimidation tactic?
Absolutely an intimidation tactic and also a distraction tactic here. I think that the only way the Democrats have a chance in November is if they rile everybody up, get people to the polls with these emotional, cultural issues, of course.
Now, what's funny about that is it's Republicans who use contrived cultural issues to get people to the polls, like critical race theory. This issue of abortion is a real issue. It's about precedent. It's about law. It's actually about a Supreme Court decision. When you have the Supreme Court actually dealing with something, it's not a contrived issue. The contrived issues are on their side.
Abortion is one that's going to be very high emotion, very intense for the country. This is their effort to distract from everything that's going wrong and play to the heartstrings of those, especially on the left, that this issue is so important to. And I think we're going to see the summer 2020 reignited with protests and, dare I say, an insurrection. I know that's a dirty word, but I think we're going to see a lot more to come this week.
I don't believe that we are going to see an insurrection or a coup attempt. I think we will hopefully see Democrats say, wow, look at what it took a few years, right? It was, I don't know, Trump, Hillary, I don't know. And then here's Trump, and he gets one pick to the court, and then he gets a second pick, and then he gets a third pick. And then Mississippi says we're going to ban abortion, and it's appealed, and then it goes to the court, and well, we'll hear from the court at some point. And the court says, Roe v. Wade is gone, folks. Roe v. Wade is gone. That's it. It took some years, but that's the way it ultimately worked. Let me know if you believe this changes the outlook for the midterms. Find me on Twitter at @dpacman. Our show has many sponsors. I love them all, but there's one product I use more than any other because I sit on it every day, and that's my Allform sofa in my living room. I've had this for 3 years now. It still looks amazing. Allform is the easiest way by far to design your own custom sofa because unlike with other companies, Allform lets you choose the fabric, the size, the shape, the color of the legs. If you're spending money on a sofa, you should be able to customize every single aspect of what you want. Get exactly what you need. Another unique thing about Allform, the furniture is modular. So you can buy one piece and add to it later, rearrange the pieces. This has so many advantages if you move, if you want to adapt the sofa to a new space. Shipping is always fast and free. You've got 100 days to send it back if you don't love it. They all come with a forever warranty, and you'll get 20% off at allform.com/Pacman. The link is down below.